Portland, Oregon, became the epicenter of a national clash when Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem arrived on October 7, 2025. Noem, a staunch Trump ally and former South Dakota governor, now led DHS, overseeing agencies like ICE, which had become a flashpoint in Portland. Her visit came amid weeks of nightly protests outside the city's ICE facility, where demonstrators decried the administration's immigration crackdowns. The area transformed into a battleground. Activists formed blockades, federal agents fortified the building, and tensions soared. Noem's arrival was no routine stop. It was a calculated show of federal force, signaling the administration's refusal to yield to local opposition. Her reputation as an enforcer of the America First agenda only heightened the sense of confrontation. For many, her presence was a provocation. For others, a reassurance that federal authority would not waver. The city braced for escalation, as Noem's visit underscored the deep divide between Portland and Washington, D.C. The stage was set for a dramatic showdown between state and federal power. Inside the fortified ICE building, Secretary Noem's visit was meticulously documented. She met with ICE agents, offering support and listening to their concerns about the relentless protests. A widely shared image showed Noem praying with officers, a gesture hailed by supporters, but criticized as political theater by opponents. Noem also surveyed the protest zone from the facility's rooftop, projecting federal control over the contested ground. Every moment was crafted to reinforce a narrative federal agents as embattled defenders, the protests as a threat. The visit was as much about optics as security, aiming to rally national support for the administration's hardline policies. The message was clear: federal resolve would not be shaken. Before reaching the ICE facility, Noem faced a direct challenge from Oregon Governor Tina Kotek. Meeting at the Portland airport, Kotek confronted Noem, insisting there was no insurrection in Oregon and that local authorities could handle the protests. She demanded federal agents respect state laws, framing the visit as federal overreach. Kotek's public statements afterward reinforced her stance, rallying support for state sovereignty and pushing back against the administration's narrative. The airport encounter crystallized the conflict. Noem representing federal power, Kotek defending state autonomy. Their heated exchange previewed a larger legal and political battle. The lines were drawn, state versus federal, each unwilling to back down. The confrontation would soon move from words to action. The stakes for both leaders and the city were rising. The conflict escalated as the Trump administration moved to deploy National Guard troops to Portland, federalizing 400 soldiers from Oregon and California. Governor Kotek swiftly challenged the move in court. U.S. District Judge Karen Immergut issued a restraining order, halting the deployment and barring federalized Guard troops from entering Oregon. This legal victory empowered Kotek, who ordered the demobilization of the troops stationed near Portland. The administration's strategy suffered a major setback, exposing the limits of federal power when confronted by state resistance and judicial intervention. Kotek celebrated the ruling as a defense of state rights and constitutional principles. The episode underscored the complex legal boundaries of using the National Guard for domestic enforcement. The standoff ended with the Guard sent home, but the political battle lines remained. The judiciary had checked executive power, at least for now. Portland became a case study in the ongoing struggle over federal and state authority. Even after the National Guard stood down, Portland's streets remained tense. Federal agents clashed with protesters, deploying smoke grenades and crowd control tactics as demonstrations continued. Noem's visit and Kotek's defiance became symbols, one of federal resolve, the other of state resistance. Judge Immergut's intervention highlighted the judiciary's crucial role in these power struggles. The week's events exposed deep national divisions over immigration, protest rights, and the use of force. The confrontation between Noem and Kotek was more than personal. It was a battle over the meaning of law and order in a polarized America. As the smoke cleared, the legacy of mistrust and conflict lingered, leaving the future of federal-state cooperation uncertain. The story of Portland 2025 will echo in debates over power and democracy for years to come.